Hello, welcome to Fieros' story time on me channel vision, me o'clock. Hello, dears. Welcome to Fieros the Reborn one on Fieros Reborn. Hello, cracking and rocking and rolling and breathing. I suppose will be good. I got this feeling in the old chest at the moment, and I figure that doing a venting type of video will be helpful. Although I don't really want to vent. I was thinking, Fieros' story time. I've just had a couple of ideas, and usually what this means is if I've got something in the actual mind there, it's going to take me about 3 hours to discuss what is essentially a tiny nugget of information. The smaller the piece of information in the brain, the longer it takes to talk about it. It's very strange how that works. You know, I had like a flash of insight, or a flash of just like a this is what the video is going to be about. The video is going to be about how did I come about with the idea of Fieros' story time, and the other part was let's tell a story about my day today visiting the remote control car races in Slough and going around the BMX track as well on my bike. And then gobbing on ants. Okay. So today I think has been a whole big day of being a giant kid, basically. And I realised to myself, I'm just a fucking giant child. I am just a big kid. I do everything about in my life is about being a child. I am a child. I play computer games on a SNES. I gob on ants. I ride around on a BMX track. I watch remote control car racing. You know, it's silly. I need to get some more toys though. Oh yeah, I speak to my dinosaur. I have a pet Buddha statue. I got little Sonic the Hedgehog figurines who I arrange in different sort of diorama type of things to make them talk to each other and so on. And I have imaginary friends. Yeah, and I have like 7 different characters or personalities that I play on my 7 different channels. Yeah. So yeah, I'm just a giant kid. And of course, this all started, this whole, whatever you call this, being me, started by doing a bit of inner child work. And then I have actually just become a giant child. I've got cuddly toys in my room as well. Okay. Good. So where to begin? Well, let's talk about Fieros' story time. Where did it come from? So when I was just a little boy, I told my mother, "What will I be?" And she said to me, "You're gonna be on YouTube, mate." Que sera, Ross Wilson. Okay, so no, that's not the true story. Don't believe anything I say until I tell you to believe it, and then believe it all the way to the bottom. Giant bottoms filled with cream. So what? No. So when I was a teenager, started drinking when I was about 13 or 14, whatever. We used to go around to. There's like 6 of us. We called it the posse. There was 3 girls and 3 boys. It was a bit like Friends in that sense, the TV show. I mean, and we would all go around to one particular person's house and hang out, get drunk, and yeah, and just hang out and I don't know what the hell we did. Listen to music, watch films, eat food, be teenagers. 6 of us. The posse, and that went on for like the whole of school to some degree. The posse was like a thing that was there for the first like 4 years, certainly. In 6th form, it kind of diluted a lot because there was a relationship formed between two of them, and that kind of was on and off throughout the whole of school. So when they were on, we would be able to meet as the six of us. Oh, sorry, one kicked out quite soon actually, so it was five. The five. So there was six to begin with, and then I. So there was six to begin with, and then the two girls were being bitchy about the other girl behind her back, and I like told that one girl that was going on and kind of was a bit of a snitch, and then that one girl decided to leave the group and didn't want to hang out with everyone anymore. So yeah, so I ruined that because I actually fancied that girl, and I think part of the reason why I even snitched in the first place was to try and get closer to her, because I was like, love me. If I tell you the secrets of the group, then you will love me. But she just went, bollocks to this group. I'm going out. I'm going elsewhere. I'll do other things, whatever. So it didn't work. It didn't work at all. So she was out, which was a shame. But yeah, so the five then, the group of us. So it was like two girls and three guys. We would hang out at this one girl's house, and yeah, it was good. But then towards the sixth form period, like when we were like 17 and 18, things had got dilute by that point because of the main relationship was on and off. So and people were just kind of growing apart as we got older anyway. Values were changing, or it became more clear what people's values were, and that we weren't quite a match as friends anymore. So yeah, but so this is leading to, where did Fieros' storytime come from? So we used to hang out at this girl's house and get drunk and stuff, and just chat and stuff, and it was fun, and play about on the lawn. A couple of them smoked. I didn't smoke, so it was like two smokers, and the rest of us didn't smoke, and then there was weed occasionally as well. And it was good. It was good fun. It's what we used to do as teenagers, and hanging out and getting drunk and smoking weed occasionally, and chatting shit and watching films and listening to music and chatting more shit and eating food and chucking our beer cans over the fence into the next field or whatever it was. Field or someone's garden, I don't know. I think it was a field. It was a field. Yeah, and then I'd wake up the next day and play squash, because it would usually be a Saturday that we would do the thing. And then my squash, was it like squash training? Yeah, squash lesson training thing, like a group lesson thing, was on the Sunday, and I was just always fucking hungover when I was like trying to do squash, and I was like 13, 14, 15 years old, going to squash lessons hungover, which I obviously couldn't tell anyone that I was hungover, because it was too shameful to admit the fact that I was getting drunk, because my parents didn't know, and none of the parents knew that we were going out, and like the girls were somehow getting drink from the off license at the age of like 14, either just by looking older somehow, or using a fake ID. I'm not exactly sure, but we got beer and vodka and what are those hooch type drinks, whatever they're called, Bacardi Breezers, and WKDs and stuff like this. Yeah, I need to get some of that shit again. Just remind me of my childhood alcoholism. Yeah, but that was back when it was kind of, because we were so young, it was rule breaking to drink. It was renegade, because we were in middle class, well-bred sounds really racist. We were in middle class, well-educated, background, group, whatever. So to do anything slightly rule breaking was like, oh, we need to do this. We need to do bad things. We need to do bad things, because we're so like repressed by the structures of society around us. So we just felt like we just need to do stupid shit. We need to get in just little bits of trouble not massive trouble, but we need to get into some kind of trouble in order to like, in order to feel like we're living and we're not being controlled by our parents. The sort of stuffiness of middle class families. Yeah, 'cause it's stuffy and it's like there's a certain moral superiority that comes with being in a middle class family. But being middle class, we somehow feel like we're better than the working class, for example. There's a sort of moral superiority which comes with its own set of repressions as well, which means that you kind of like you have to appear to be more cultured and you have to appear to do sort of things in a certain way, and you have to aspire to certain goals with your life, and aspire to certain job positions, things like this. It's all drilled into you through the schooling and through what your parents want of you, that kind of thing. So yeah, so we get drunk and that instead, or as our little rebellion thing, and the smoking was part of that, but I didn't get involved at that age. The weed, what did I do about weed? At the youngest age, when it was happening, I didn't get involved in it, but I did start smoking weed, yeah, like occasionally when I was like 15, I suppose, and that carried on for a while. And I never like, the only time I ever bought weed was a lot later, when I was like 24 or something, or 23, when I was trying to use it to deal with depression. And now I can't deal with it. It's too strong, man. It's too strong. Maybe I need to try some rock, some mellower stuff, but I don't know. It just doesn't do the right thing for me. It doesn't make me feel mellow. It's too active. It's too psychoactive. It just makes my brain get too loud and annoying. And it's supposed to relax you and calm you down. And yeah, you get that giggle thing, but it sort of opens my third eye even more wide, basically, and I become psychotic. Essentially, I just turn nuts. It's like, it takes me too deep. I'm fucking deep enough as it is. I'm deep enough, and fucking creative enough, and my brain is sort of enough as it is. I don't need it. I don't need anything that is psychoactive. The last time I smoked any weed, I just immediately got paranoid, and I wanted it to be over. It lasted far too long for the amount that I had. I had like a couple of tokes on a joint, and I just got paranoid that everyone could tell that I was stoned. My eyes looked like I was stoned. I just didn't enjoy it, and like, I don't want to do a drug that I don't enjoy. Cocaine was all right. Thing is, you don't really notice it. It just sort of happens. And the effect of cocaine for me is just staying up a lot longer than normal and being as annoying as I am at my maximum annoyingness level, but for a lot longer in a row. And it's like, what's the point of this? I'm already a nutter. I don't need stupid drugs to make me more alert and more alive and more chatty and more irritating to other people. So yeah, but I will. I feel like I will do some cocaine again in the future, like, because I'm glad that I haven't become addicted to it. I've had a little bit here and there, and it was getting a bit much at one point. I was like, I need to stop hanging out with these people because they're always doing coke, and I don't want to get sucked into the fact that every time I go out I have to do a line. I don't like that feeling. So yeah, and then it just becomes like something that you just do regularly, not necessarily every day, but you do it as part of your going out thing, or your staying in, or your partying thing. And I can't be bothered with it. I don't want to have it as being a regular occurrence. It's just too much, because then you're dependent on it, aren't you? Even though you may not be completely addicted to it in the sense that you need to use it like every day, but you're still dependent on it, and I don't like it. It's once now and again, fine, but I don't like drugs. I don't like the pull that they have. I like a dip in there a bit, and I like the experience, and I like to sort of have different experiences, but I don't want to become dependent on an altered experience long term. I don't know, something, just don't enjoy it. Don't enjoy it. Mm. Okay, but this is not quite getting to how do we get to Fieros and story time. So when I used to get drunk in the teenage years, it would turn out that at the end of the night we were trying to kind of go to sleep, but I was still. It was at that point where, because everyone else has calmed down a little bit, I felt like I had a moment to shine, which was to keep everyone up by telling Fieros' story time. But it wasn't Fieros back then; it was Ross, and they would actually ask for it as well. And what I'd do is I would just I would make up stories, right? Like, it wasn't true to life stories. I was just
make up stories on the fly, like what do you call it? Inspirational, spontaneous, inspiraneous, spontaneous, improvisation, improvisation. Improvisation is the word, not spontaneous or inspiration, but a combination of the inspiration and spontaneation to be improvisation. So I'd create stories, improvised, like just lying in the bed, still a little bit drunk, but when you get to the end of the night and you're not really feeling drunk anymore, but you're obviously, your body is still affected by it, but you don't have the same kind of buzz. You're not on the buzz of the whoa, you're just on a more like a mellow feeling. But yeah, I would just create stories while everyone was trying to sleep, and make everyone laugh, until yeah, and so I just make it up as I go along. And I do all these like silly voices as part of it as well. And I used to do the Cartman impression. Hey guys, hey, and all this stuff. That was one of my main voices that I used to do. Cartman. Oh God. Hey. All right. If I fuck it up, then I fuck it up. But I'll give it a shot. What does he say? Oh, let's pretend I was doing as far as. Hey, it's time for Fieros' story time, is it? Something like that. Oh man, I haven't done that voice in ages. Hey guys, do you want to? Oh, hey guys, do you want to do the Fieros' story time? Hey guys. Oh, I can't remember it. Yeah, I need to get back into my Cartman voice. I used to be really, really good at it. I haven't done it in ages. So we used to have that. I used to do that voice, and then so I just make stuff up. I can't remember what exactly, but I would just be like, and then blah 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 blah, and it would be very similar to these videos actually, in terms of like how I make shit up as I go along. Hey guys, do you want to listen to Fieros' story time? Skin you guys, I'm going home. I, I, yeah. So I did that, and that's where it began, really. And I'm glad that I brought this back. I feel like I've always wanted to do these videos, where it's just me telling stories about my life, which may or may not be funny. But yeah, I feel like storytelling is something I really like to do. Okay, so blah 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 blah. Let's talk about Fieros' story time from today. Oh yeah, I've realised I burp so much from these videos. I'm a burper. I'm a little burper and a farter. I sometimes forget the camera's there as well. I'm a burper and a farter. Yeah. My dad was saying something about a big farmer yesterday when I met up with him, and I was like, he was saying, yeah, those big farmers, they get really like upset about these new drugs or something, or they jump. I can't remember what it was. Oh yeah, these big farmers, they they all jump on the bandwagon about these new drugs or whatever, and I was like, what? Big farmers? Just picture this giant kind of like oaf like farmer with a pitchfork, like, "Oh, you drugs, you new drug." And then I was like, "What?" And he's like, I said, "What, farmers?" And he's like, "Yeah, pharmaceutical companies, big pharmaceutical companies." And I was like, "Oh yeah." It's not a farmer. Big, oh, hello there. Yeah, anyway. It's very interesting how close the farmer is to the pirate in the food chain. In the accent realm. "Arr, matey. Hello there." It's very, very similar. "I'm a farmer." "I know you're not. I'm a pirate." You're not a pirate." "Oh, you're a pirate, are you?" I don't know what I'm doing now. Yeah, so what am I on about? Goodbye. And the news today at 7 a.m. is lots of people died. People are always dying in the news. Let's see if it makes noise. Yep. Good. Good. Hello. Welcome back. Let's put these on my nose as well. How many different... Oh, God. So many different items. Okay. Now you could say that this is just me. This is a defense. Let's put this one on instead. It's a defense mechanism because that's not going to go around my ear. It's a defense mechanism because I don't want to actually just like be honest or something, and I'm trying to gain approval. Oh, has it gone on? Oh, that will do anyway. And I'm just trying to gain approval. Let's put this on my nose. Yeah! Oh, get up then. This is one of those things where you get rushed to hospital because you got a marble up your nose, like Ralph Wiggum in Simpsons. Oh, there we go. This is going well. Oh God, yeah. Okay, now let's get the wig. Oh, the marble fell out. Now, let's be serious. Come on. It's from Tesco, just so you know. Okay, dears. Let's do. Hello, boys and girls. I could be a proper. Oh, it's got horns on it as well. Didn't know. Will the marble stop rolling around, please? Here we go, darlings. Right. I just realised this is my nose piercing. Yeah. I'm beautiful. This should work quite well actually. Let's just keep this on for the rest of the video. Hello, Chucks. I used to do this. Stupid fuck. I used to do this. Hello, Chucks. What is the accent? It's just a northern type of accent comparative to where I am now. All right, there, Chucks. And I used to have this kind of really terrible transvestite, transsexual cross-dressing character, which was a northern bloke wearing a wig. Just wearing a wig, and sometimes it wasn't even a wig, it was just a flannel or a dishcloth, which was supposed to be a wig, and it was supposed to be kind of the most terrible transsexual you've ever seen type of thing, you know, really not working it very well. Yeah, anyway, so let's not do that one. Because everyone's getting offended by transsexualism these days, aren't they? Transvestitism, transgenderism. I just saw that white tack and I was getting interested. So maybe I'm avoiding something, am I? Fieros' story time. I already told that. I already told the story of its origin. Do you like my nose piercing? Like, it's new, and I don't have a chip on my shoulder. I prefer a waffle. So I went out to the remote control car racing today, believe it or not, which I had no idea was happening, and it was like a very happy accident that happened, because I was just like at home and I was like, oh, what should I do? I was hungover because every time I do a Fieros Storytime video about my past being in the mental health establishment,
the psychiatric ward, I get a little bit kind of like, oh man, I need a fucking drink. So lately, after I just realised to do the Joker. I got the Joker lick as well. I do that a lot. Yeah, so I need to watch out for that because I might just turn into the Joker. Oh yeah, so every time I do the psych ward type of stuff, the whole mental health story, I get like, I'm like, oh fuck this, I need a drink, because my chest gets all stuffed up by it. Like it brings up all these kind of emotional. Oops! Oh no, my nose piercing. Yeah, let's put it in that one instead. I feel better now. In a way, I feel I look right. What's this? This is weird. What even is that though? What is that? That must be used to do some grouting. To be fair, we're beyond the point of having to know what things are for. They just go up there whether you like it or not. Come on now. In you go. Come on. Oh, that's a better nose piercing. Oh, come on, man. Don't. Oh, no piercings for you. For me. To me, to you. Apparently one of the Chuckle Brothers has died. I love when people die. Chuckle. Well, not always, but most of the time I enjoy that. Funeral. Yeah, good for him. I'm guessing he was getting old. Was he getting old? To me, to you. To me, to you. How old was he? Tell me the age, please, dears. What did the Chuckle Brother die of? The Chuckle Brother. Yeah, that makes sense. Only one Chuckle Brother. Who's his brother then? No, there's just one. Well, that is. How old? How old? Death to you. Barry's death. Controversy. After a period of ill health. Bone cancer. Oh, that's tough, isn't it? Everybody dies. Aged 73. Yeah, you're getting old, you die. That's how it goes. Sorry. It's going to suck when I die. Because I'll be like, no, I want more. Give me more. I want more cheese. There's never enough cheese. Oh, okay. So, what else? Oh, yeah, so I went to a remote control car factory. Not the factory, the race car thing. The day of racing. And it was pretty good. I feel like it's a bit of a shame that not more people were watching. I think the only people who were watching was like the partners of the people who were playing, racing, driving, participating. And other than that, there's a few like passers-by who stumbled on it. Maybe one or two people showed up on purpose, but I think that people just went, and it was like about 3 people watching who weren't participating in some way, or who weren't like related to the participants. But yeah, so it was cool. So in Slough, in this kind of field area, we've got some cool stuff. We've got a big BMX type track or bike track thing. And we've got the remote control car racetrack thing, which is really cool. And it's bizarre because the whole town is shit. Like the town is shit and good. It's hard to describe why it's shit and why it's good. It's shit because it feels unsafe. A lot of the place I feel unsafe in Slough. I just feel like there's too many kind of ominous looking groups of teens, like late teens, 16, 17, 18, 19-year-old boys mainly, and it's just a bit leery. And they always look ominous, and they're always in gang type groups, and like, I can't be serious when I'm on it. Yeah, so it just feels, I don't really like going out into the kind of wild areas of Slough, which means like parks and stuff, because I don't know, I just don't feel safe. It used to be fine. There used to be like skate parks and stuff where it was fairly safe, and we would go there by ourselves, and we would only very occasionally get hassled. But yeah, it was good. But now I just feel like, I don't know. Nah, I don't feel safe in Slough very much. Yeah. There's tennis courts, I suppose, and there's football pitches and stuff, so you can kick a ball about.
But I don't know. This whole area is. I'm sick of this area, generally speaking. They've brought in a table tennis room in Slough, which is cool, because in Bournemouth they have table tennis everywhere. It's just like part of the culture. There's a table tennis table lying around wherever you are, which I thought was really cool. I never actually played on it because I was a bit too shy to talk to weirdos. Anyway, yeah, so I went to this remote control racetrack car thing today, and I'd never seen it actually in full swing. I'd always gone there when it was empty, and I thought, is this thing even being used? Does anyone ever use this? And I looked at the track and I thought, well, it does seem like it's kind of maintained, so I guess it must be used. So they have this big kind of gallery place where the drivers are like they stand with their little control things. It's a weird little twisty thing on the side, which is I suppose the accelerator. I don't know. I haven't really seen it, but they're there holding a thing of some kind to do the cars, and the cars are cool, man. They're so quick, and they've got all these little jumps that they go over. And some of the drivers, like, some of them are good, and some of them are a bit less good. But there was like one particular driver who I didn't see who it was who was driving it, but the one particular car was just so fucking like tight on everything. It was just kind of perfect. It would go over a jump, nail the jump, and then get really close in for the corner. And just like it looked like a F1 driver type of style, you know. It was like really well driven and cornering everything really nicely and doing everything with a sense of like real excellence, like I'd say perfection. So it was really, really good. And I didn't catch that car enough. But yeah, it was cool just seeing these cars go whee over these jumps and like, and occasionally they'd spin out and tumble over and stuff. It's like, oh no. And then there's like these 5 dudes sat on these little kind of posts, what they call like marshal posts. So you sit on a little bench thing, like a marshal outpost, to wait until someone falls over, like one of the cars crashes and goes, and then they go, whoa no, and they go and pick it up and turn it over. And I thought, oh, that's so shitty if your car like turns over, and then you're going to lose time because it's all done by time. So like if your car tumbles over, you're like losing time, and it's not your fault how long that takes if you got a big fat marshal, because quite a lot of them are big fat old blokes. And they're like, they notice it's fallen over them and they go, oh, and then they boom boom boom, and then they pick it up and chuck it off and chuck it back on the track, and carry it on. But yeah, it's a bit of a shame because I was like thinking, oh, if I was one of those drivers and my car span over, I'd be like, come on, you fucking oaf. Haven't you seen it's fallen over? What? How big and fat are you? Why don't we have a small, slim person who can just quickly nip in and get it? But no, you got this like 45-year-old big fat bloke who like takes 5 seconds to realise that anything's happened. Then he takes another 5 seconds to think about whether he should get up or the other bloke should get up or not. Just like, come on, man, come on. And then he like oafs his way over there, blum blum blum, like that. So I was thinking, oh, that sucks because you're losing time. And then I was thinking, well, it's your fault for being a crappy driver. But then in some ways, what if it was just a stone and then ping, you know, I can't account for these situations. So I just felt a bit like, oh, that sucks. But whatever, it's only a minor thing, you know, you deal with it. But the stakes are high. Stake. And yeah, so it was good. It was good fun. I feel like it could have been more fun. How could it have been more fun? Well, I think it would have been good if there was more of an atmosphere, like if there were more people watching. That would be cool, because I just showed up and it was sad because there's all the racers and then no one was watching. So it's like, I don't know, it was weird. I would have thought that there would at least be a few more people come to actually watch this thing, because they've obviously put in a lot of time and effort into, like, they maintain the cars and race the cars in different places. And like some of these people had like these little marquees for what they were doing, and they'd got these like marquees and all their gear and stuff, and they were, I don't know, altering things and changing parts and whatever, I don't know. And it was all very like professional. So these people are very dedicated to it, and there's like a a professional pursuit that they do, or like a very high level pursuit that they do. And they had trophies and stuff at the end, these like little glass trophies things, which were a bit shit, to be honest. They could have been better trophies, but it was cool that they had trophies anyway. And the last thing I remember was I couldn't be bothered to watch the trophy ceremony thing because it was taking too long. The guy on the microphone, there's a guy on a microphone with like these little speakers, which couldn't hear what the hell he was saying because you had like a speaker over there and a speaker all the way over there and a speaker all the way over there, and they would all be echoing at different times because they were at different distances away. So this one would go bong, 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 and it was just like creating a muddled sound, so I could barely hear what the hell was going on, which was annoying because I wanted to know which fucking car was winning. And they kept saying, and the leaders at the moment are cars. I'm like, why can't I hear what numbers it is? And then I figured out that it was cars. They had like a leaderboard type thing as well. So it's like the positions, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They had the top 5 positions, I think, were written on this kind of LED leaderboard thing. And so you had like in position 1, it was like car number 1, and then position 2 was car number 3, and it was like along like that. And but then on one of the races, the car that was in the lead was supposed to be car number 1, right? Which is a bit suspicious if you ask me. But then there were 2 cars with the number 1 on it. So I was like, well, which number 1 is it? Fuck's sake! So trying to keep track of what the hell was actually going on, like it was too hard because I wanted to know who's fucking winning. God damn it! Because after the beginning, it just turns into madness because you just got all these cars going all the way, like all around, and you know some people might have lapped the other one, so they might have overtaken and actually lapped the people who were in last. So you don't actually know. You can't tell who's fucking winning. Basically, you just show up and you're like, oh, it's just a load of cars going around a track, and you don't know where is the beginning point and where is the end point. So that was annoying because it's like, okay, you can't invest in it in that way. You don't know what the stakes are. Does that make sense? Because you're just watching a bunch of cars and you don't know who's fucking winning, so you're just watching it out of context to some degree. You're just watching like the bare actions of the cars going around, and that's fun enough. You know, it's nice to watch the cars going around in because it's cool the way that they drive them, and they're fucking fast and they fly into the air and it's really cool. And some of them, they're in the air and they go, and then they turn as soon as they land. They have got this sharp turn to do, and they've got really good handling, these cars. It's wicked. Yeah, they should put wings on some of them. They should get them off, like go off one of the jumps, and then their wings will come out and they go like that. So yeah, that would be really good. Actually, you should definitely do that. They should definitely have that on at least some of them, or they should like have it as an option. They have the wing car race where you go. So you flick a button on the control, like as you go over the ramp, and the wings come out and it goes. And they're sucked back in, and then you carry on with the race. Yeah, that would be cool. So that could have made it more fun as well if they had wings on the cars. And they need more explosions, I think, as well. They should have like fire thing going on. So like there should be a part of it where they've got like a fire pit, so that you have to definitely make the jump. Because if you don't make the jump, then your car gets set on fire. Well, yeah, and explodes. And there should be a thing where like there should be different like routes. So you know, like on a video game or something, where you press a fucking button somehow by going over the button, and it changes the route. This might be a bit too hard to actually implement it in practice, but make it more interesting. Like, oh, what's going to happen? And there should be guns on the cars as well, small guns to shoot the other cars and to try and shoot them there. Just be more fun, innit? Be more interested. So, but none of that. And so I was watching these cars zipping around, and it was quite fun. But again, as I say, yeah, so I was like watching it out of context, which is annoying because then it's not a race, it's just a bunch of cars driving around a track. So, and it was all new to me as well. I'd never seen this actually happen. I mean, you could have probably imagined how it would be just looking at the track and extrapolating from your own memories of playing with remote control cars. But it was really cool. It was cool to see like how professional it was, basically. That they're always doing this weird thing where they like rev their engines before the race, and they're all like always like going ving ving ving. I don't know what it was, whether they're trying to like keep the engine from seizing or something, or to keep it fluid moving. I don't know, but they'd like have these little blocks. If you're into remote control racing, you know what I'm on about anyway. But I just felt it was quite an interesting thing that I went to today, which is out of the ordinary for me. So yeah, they had these like little blocks that were solid, but this will do. And they have the car, and they put them on the car. They put the car on the block, sorry, and they got the wheels there, so they're not touching anything, so they can just kind of mess around, playing with it without it like scooting off. So yeah, they put the car there, and it's going like vroom, 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 and you get this kind of like exhaust smell stuff, like oil, petrol, steam, smoke stuff. Smoke would come out, and it'd be like vroom, 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 vroom. That was weird. So I don't know what exactly they're trying to do, but they're all doing it. So like, must be something to maintain the car before it starts, to get it in a good sort of prep the car before it starts racing. Yeah, so it was interesting. Yeah, there was a pretty lady there, but only one pretty lady, so I felt like I shouldn't stare for too long because she'll notice. So I did not, and I just averted my eyes elsewhere. Yeah, but I didn't stay to the trophy bit because it was taking them ages to all show up. The guy on the microphone was like, "Can we have all the drivers here for the trophy ceremony, please? Like now. Anytime this day would be nice. Sorry, anytime today would be nice. Come on." I said, "Can we have all the drivers for the award ceremony, please?" Hello? It was just taking ages. I thought that was funny. Yeah, so that was fun. It was good. That's about it. There's some bloke with a camera filming them. Fine. Okay, so that was that story, and then I went round the BMX track a couple of times on my bike, and I felt like, yeah, this is better than the last time I did it, because last time I felt really fucking scared. I feel like I'm more balanced somehow now. I've got more balance, whereas before I felt like I don't know, I was constantly scared I was going to fall off and crash. But this time I just went slowly round it. I'm not like at a point in my fitness or even in my desire where I want to speed around a track and almost crash and kill myself, because I'm afraid of pain. I don't like pain. I've done enough skateboarding in my life and sustained enough skateboarding related injuries to not want to purposely put myself through any sport related pain. What's the fucking point of it? My friend used to be big into his biking, probably still is big into his biking, but he'd fucking always be falling off and nearly killing himself. He his handlebars jabbed through his rib cage into his liver or something at one point, and like caused a serious injury that he was in hospital for, and he'd like damaged his wrist a number of times and damaged his ankles a number of times, and it's just like, I'm not about doing this crazy high octane biking stuff, because I don't want to die young, really, and I certainly don't like pain. For the hell of it, I don't think the rush is enough to justify it, but you know, he obviously felt that way. I get enough of a rush like walking around the block, and that's enough to keep me entertained. I'm very kind of like tame in my physical activities, apart from the bedroom. Well, I'd probably even count as tame in the bedroom, but you know, I'm not into using excess items. in the bedroom because, as I say, I can get a lot out of a little. I make the most out of the smallest amount of stimulation, and I don't need to intensify my life particularly. It's intense enough without any excess stimulation, you know. Fieros, the story time. I think we're coming to the end now. It feels like that's all I really had to say. And I did the 2 points. I did say it's going to take ages to just do the 2 points, which the 2 points were what I did today and how did we come to Fieros, the story time. And just to summarise, what I did today was I went to see a remote control racetrack thing, which is pretty cool. And I was going like, woo! As they went over the jumps, I was like, woo! And going like, oh no! When they fell over. Yeah, I liked it. It was cool. I used to be really into remote control cars when I was a kid. And I wanted to have that kind of professional level car. Those really fast petrol driven ones. I wanted that for a while in my childhood. But then it was either too expensive or I think we played on like so a kid round the road used his dad had one, right, one of these high end petrol ones, and I think it just felt a bit dangerous to me because they're so fucking fast and uncontrollable. We had to go on it and it's just like whoa, and it's just too much compared with our like smaller ones that we had, like the kids ones, the electric ones that you get from Argos and toy shops wherever. That they feel fast and it's fun, and that was enough, I think. But we wanted to put them around the track. But the problem with the lower specification, the kids type remote control cars, is that they're not built for that kind of high octane track. So they don't really work. They're too small. The wheels are too small. They don't get fast enough to do the jumps, stuff like this. I mean, these fucking petrol cars, I don't know how quick they were going, but it must have been like 40 miles an hour or something like that. Yeah, because they would go down this long straight bit at the end. It's like, it was really quick. You're like, whoa, fucking hell. It was intense. Oh, and another thing on the subject of racing, I was coming back from Windsor one day last week, and it's a thing again about racing. We've got a racetrack in Windsor and Eton sports ground. I don't know what it's called actually. Thames Valley Sports Ground thing. I used to do races there when I was a kid, like for school athletics tournaments, championships, whatever you call it, like the Berkshire ones or the regional ones. Yeah, county, region. Yeah. But I rode past there, and I happened to catch it just as they'd like fired the starting gun for a relay race. It was 100 meters relay, 4x100, I think is it called? Yeah. So there's 4 kids, blokes. It was men's 4x100 meter relay. So they went bang, and they went run with a little baton, and then they handed it over to the next bloke, and it was like run. Hand it over to the next bloke, run. That's the 3-1, and then hand it over to the next final bloke, and it's like run to the end. And yeah, it was cool. I was like, woohoo! Look at them go. It was exciting, man. It was so cool. Because I just remembered, I guess, it wasn't even about remembering it. It was just like, this is wicked. Because they're all putting their fucking heart into it, aren't they? Like, just pounding it, like, go as fast as you fucking can. Like that. This is the exhilarating thing. And I didn't know any of the people, but I was like, yeah, come on. Which one's going to win? I don't know. I thought it was like going to be one of their guys, and then he got overtaken. I was like, because, they start it in a staggered way. So it's hard to tell sometimes, like, from certain angles who's in the lead. But, yeah, it was that one over there that won. But it was still good. I was like, yeah, this is wicked. And I just watched that, and I was like, woo! Really randomly excited. I was like, yes, come on. And then it got to the end, and I was like, damn, that was wicked. And then I just carried on. But that was cool, man. So the theme this week has been of racing around tracks. Let's see what other races show up in my life. Racing around tracks. Actually, yeah, it's all been about tracks and racing and stuff. Although the BMX riding that I did was not a race. It's not a race. No, it's not a competition. I was just riding about on it and enjoying that. Maybe the universe is trying to bring me some sort of notification, bing, 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 from the universe saying you need to do more racing, or you need to get into races, or competition can help improve you in some way. Do competitions, races. I don't know. But I did think about the remote control car thing, and I thought, I would I like to do that or not? And then I thought, well, if I was doing it, I wouldn't really want to stick to the track necessarily. Yeah, that's the problem. I'd be wanting to try and jump it from one part of the track to another, which is, you're not supposed to do that. And I'd be like, I'd find it very difficult to not just try and bash into all the other people instead of actually focusing on the race. I can just imagine me. I don't like too much structure, you know. I just like to mess about. So, and all the fiddly aspect of it, like getting the car ready and all that shit, I'd be like, oh, bollocks to that, can't be bothered. But yeah, I could just imagine that I wouldn't be the best because I'm literally a stupid fucking kid when it comes to this type of stuff, and I'd be wanting to drive the car around the other way, around the track, and just bashing into the other ones. I wouldn't be asked with doing the race aspect. I'd be wanting to like mess about and annoy people, and be the different guy, and just jump it around and like try and get it stuck or something, or like purposely try and spin it off, stuff like this. Because that's what I find amusing. And then when I get to the straight bit, I'd want to go really, really, really fast and maybe try and crash it. And I'd be trying to get it to jump over the fence rather than to kind of stick to the track. I'd be like, can I get it to go over the fence? Or can I get it to land on one of the other cars when I go over the jump? It would be stupid stuff like that. Or can I always specifically annoy this one particular person because he cut me up one time 3 years ago? It'd be like that. So I wouldn't get very far because I'm not a competitive person in that sense. Like even playing pool, it's slightly annoying that there's a competition aspect in playing pool. I don't like the competition like aspect. I'd rather make an interesting pattern with the balls. Yeah, and literally I did this with a girlfriend of mine because I don't really like competition. I just find it just aggravates people. I think it's you have to have like a certain centeredness and sense of self-esteem to not get riled by competition. Like people get all very agitated if they lose, and they get over like egoified if they win, and even winning can have a negative feeling to it, and losing can it's just I don't like it that much because there's even the most sportsman-like people, you know, who have the decency of sport to like not boast and to keep it about the game and things like this. Even that, I still feel like there's this edge of people feeling upset when they lose and a little bit too happy when they win. And it's like, I don't know, I don't enjoy it because it seems to be about status at some level as well, that there's a competition of status going on. And I feel like it makes people angry when they lose. People get angry when they lose, or they get upset when they lose, and then they get arrogant when they win. So I don't know, people's egos are a little bit fragile, I suppose, and I'd prefer not to provoke people by getting into competition with them, because if you're in a competition with someone and if you win, then they get upset because they've lost, and if they win, then you feel like you've lost something somehow, so you feel less. So it's just like, it's never a win-win situation because it's a competition, so someone has to win and someone has to lose, and it's annoying because the winner implies the loser. So it's like you can't
both be happy at the same time. And what I prefer is to enjoy the actual experience of playing the game, and not focus on the competition aspect. I actually genuinely like the experience of like just messing about, as I say, and I like winning as well, but I don't like what it does to other people when you win, because it puts them in the loser position. So I'd much rather it be about how quickly can we get the balls off the table than who is going to win. Or like, yeah, I'd like it to be more of a collaborative thing. That would be if pool, for example, was about two people competing with themselves in a time basis or something like that, or like it's more like a collaborative effort to get all the balls away, then I'd be more happy with that. I think that's more kind of up my street. That's my kind of value system, is more like how can we enjoy doing something that's mutually good, that no one walks away going, oh yeah, they beat me, or oh yeah, I'm better than you because I won. Yeah, so there's a subtle level of tension in competition. So don't know how I got onto that. Pool. Yeah, and with an ex-girlfriend of mine, I was like, let's just see how we can try and arrange the balls by playing into like cool patterns and stuff. Let's try and like make a line here if we can. So that was weird because she was fiercely competitive type of person, and I noticed that about her, and in a sense because I was better at pool than her as well, and she was fiercely competitive, so I didn't want to kind of. She would get really upset, like I beat her at bowling and I beat her at pool, and she was like very competitive, like, and she expected to win at these things when she hadn't done any practice, and I had done some practice on those things. Not that I'm amazing at them, but she'd hardly played the games and I played a fair amount, and she was like really competitive about it and expecting to win and feeling crap when she lost. Jesus Christ, it's a big ego thing there, like I have to win. Yeah. So that was silly. Okay. Oh, bollocks. Do I have to go on for a whole hour? Let's just wait in silence until the end of the lesson. Drive. There's a book up there called Drive. Can you see it? No. Can you see it? No, it's just below the thing. Oh, botanicals. Someone was trying to explain to me the concept of a singularity the other day. I've just picked that out because this popped into my mind. Singularity. And this guy's a weird whiskey nut. He loves his whiskey. He works for a drinks company, but he just specifically enjoys whiskey and is a bit of a connoisseur about whiskey. Whiskey. This is how his mind works. It's like whiskey this and whiskey that. I swear about 70% of his thinking must go into which whiskey he's going to buy next and what the different tastes are in each whiskey. And he later on was talking about how he wanted to use the word integrity with regard to whiskey. This whiskey has good integrity, and we had a discussion about whether it was whether whiskey had moral properties or not. What else was it? Singularity. Yeah, I don't know why I was going about singularity. Probably to do with whiskey again. No, he was talking about being single actually, and then used the word of being feeling like a singularity, like an anomaly in the universe, basically. So feeling, I suppose, alienated would be another way to describe it. Isolated, and walking about as though you're a single point, which is the anomaly, the point of difference, the odd one out. So he was talking about that, and I said, I understand that feeling. But then I've really grown into being a weirdo and loving it and don't care anymore. And I feel like I'm both normal and weird at the same time, because I seem quite normal on the surface as I'm just going about day to day, but the inside world is very, very different, and unique. So if you were overhearing my thought conversation in my head when I was just walking about looking normal, it would be very interesting, I think, because I find myself very interesting. Like in McDonald's, McDonald's, when you're waiting in the queue, right? I don't think people are really. It seems like, now bear with me. It seems like there's this kind of barrier between the customers and the till people, and you could say that the barrier is the till bit, the like bench to till bar, the bar thing, right? But there's also like a visual barrier as well, so you don't really you can see what's going on, but it's a bit of a blur. But then if you decide to really focus in and look into the kitchen and peer into the kitchen, you can see all kinds of stuff. They get the egg things out of a little tray, and they get the little things for the muffin, the sausage things, patties, out of a little tray. That's like in this heated tray thing. They get the eggs out of a little tray and they put it on the thing, and they like get the salad bits, whatever, stick that on there, and it's all in little trays. And then they make it up and they wrap it up in a certain way, and then they shove it down the little thing and goes like that. And oh, yeah. And what else can you see in McDonald's? And you sort of think, how do they keep track of all these orders? And there's buttons that they have to press as well. It's because they've got the waiting to be served list, haven't they, in that screen? They got like whose order's coming next. I'm 87. Oh yeah, my number 87. No, I'm 55. How long is it going to be for mine? Waiting. And so someone must be there pushing buttons and stuff to say this one's ready, but it's like must be secret, because you can't see that happening. And there is actually, you have to look for it. They have to peer into the kitchen to find out what's going on. And it's good. And where do they keep the ketchups? Because they just sort of go like that down there, and they're there somewhere, a secret. All the secrets at McDonald's. And yeah, so I bet they've got different secret sources as well they don't tell us about. Yeah, and sometimes they have the straws hidden under there as well, and they just go, whoop, there's a straw, and you're like, oh, where's that come from? A secret drawer, a tray, no, little secret tray, everything's in a tray. Yeah, and then you look further back, and there's like, it goes on for ages. So there's people who are like preparing the things to put in the trays. Yeah, and there must be heating these things somehow, like frying them or whatever. I don't know. Burgers, preparing them, and then there's the chip guy or girl, whoever is doing it, and like they go on the chips, and then they get this thing with the like chip thing. It's like a metal thing that they scoop the chips into it, and then it goes funnels down into the little chip holder thing like that. And you can learn a lot about McDonald's by just peering into the kitchen. And then they have the office at the end, you see, and then sometimes there's a secret door into, we don't know what that is, but it's a cleaning cupboard. I know what that is. So, and it says staff only, and you think, oh, what's in there? Ooh, could it be some kind of secret shag room? And then they open it occasionally and it's a cleaning room, so it's not very good. It's boring. But yeah, and like quite often, not in every McDonald's, but in many McDonald's, they've got far too much makeup for their own good. And also, they look like they want to be dead, a lot of them. Yeah, they're like, they're the most Hmong type of people who I've ever met, are people who work at McDonald's. They're Hmong. They're just like, "Bah, bah." They stick to their script big time. Bah. Yeah, and I try and occasionally throw them off by they go like, hello, how can I help you? And I go, well, Hold on a moment. I'm just gonna. If you could just hold on a second. Yeah, hello. Oh, you right there? What? I just try and distract them or be weird to get them to jump off script if possible, and to just be a human being would be nice. Yeah, and I play with them every now and again, like try and get a discount. Like, can I have staff discount? No. Ah, why not? Because we can't. Because she's not staff. Oh, yeah, fair enough. um, Bit of banter. Okay, thanks very much for watching. Goodbye.